Today we have Anthony Meeks with NetZero to discuss LED lighting solutions. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And good morning, everyone. I appreciate everybody's time this morning with us. My name is Anthony Meeks. I'm the VP of Marketing for NetZero USA. Now, traditionally, the president of our company, Mark Sennett, would be running this presentation for you. However, Mark is currently out of the country, and so I am joined this morning by two of our top sales managers, Andrew Berry and Taylor Kynat. And together, we're going to take you through a little bit of the value proposition of NetZero USA and the opportunity that it represents to the channel. So to get started, I'd like to just kind of talk a little bit about who we are and where we come from. So we started this company in 2009 as a solar power company. And as we were getting into that business, we began to quickly realize some of the problems inherent in it at the time, at least, not the least of which was that it was expensive and that it was very difficult. It was a difficult challenge to get to a good ROI for our customers. So because of that, we started looking at energy reduction solutions as opposed to production. And that led us down the path to lighting. You know, when you look at the overall picture of energy consumption for a commercial or industrial facility, lighting really has the greatest impact on that consumption. And so we figured that would be a good path to go down. So at that point, we started manufacturing T5 lighting adapters where we could go in and retrofit existing lighting fixtures to take T5 bulbs and get our customers that, approximately, 15 to 20% energy reduction. Around the same time that we were doing that, LED lighting was coming onto the market really as a cost-effective and viable solution. And so we started pivoting towards that. And it turns out that that was a really great business for us to get into. It was a tremendous opportunity, and we've had a lot of success with it. And just generally speaking, when talking about energy production versus reduction, we find that we feel like it's a more ethical solution, especially when you're talking about all of the rare earth minerals that are required for solar panels and the batteries, and then the degradation of the batteries over time, and those end up in landfills. And of course, the energy reduction has a faster return for the customer on that. So now my understanding is that a lot of you on the call today have a background in telecom. And so we like to think of lighting as a technology like telecom, or any other technology really. And so to sort of illustrate that, we like to draw a parallel between the history and development of lighting with the history and development of the telephone. And sort of the incremental improvements over time that's been made in each of those two technologies, and the impact that it's had on the market. So starting with the phone, we have in the mid-1800s, the telephone was invented, right? And so then we progressed through some incremental improvements and updates to that core technology until we get to the late 80s and early 90s, when we start having the first cell phones come onto the market. From there, we get to the late 90s when the BlackBerry is released, and then we're starting to see an impact on the market at that point, where you have the power of the internet via email in a pocket device. And then really for us in 2007, we feel like when the iPhone was released, that was sort of the inflection point for telephones, in the sense that that's the line of demarcation where you have all of the incremental technology that came before it, and then essentially what the form factor and technology was going to be for everything after. So everything after the iPhone is some variation on that theme, to the point where today almost every human being has a pocket computer that with phone capabilities that they walk around with on a day-to-day basis. So now let's contrast that with the timeline of lighting development. So again, around the same time, mid-late 1800s, we have the invention of the Edison bulb. Then we have some incremental updates to that technology over the ensuing decades. And then in the 1960s, the LED light bulb is invented. Now, of course, at this time, it's incredibly complicated to make and prohibitively expensive. So it kind of sits there in the background for a little while. And we progress along with traditional lighting until we get to the early 2000s, where LED finally gets to a point where it's a cost-effective solution in the market. Then we have an important event that happens in 2007, and Congress passes the Energy Independence and Security Act, which basically prescribes that by 2023, there will be a complete phase out of all incandescent lighting. So this right now is the inflection point in our industry. This is the point where there's all of the lighting, incremental development that came before, and then everything after is LED lighting. So for a company, a facility, an entity, it's not a question of whether they will upgrade to LED lighting, right? They all have to upgrade to LED lighting or not have lights. So that's not the question. The question is, who are they going to buy the lighting from? And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about the benefits of LED lighting. And for that, I'm going to hand it off to Taylor.
Thank you, Anthony. If you could, there we go. Thank you. So first off, with LED lighting, you're going to be getting a better quality, healthier light. And what that means is it's a consistent full spectrum light that is going to reduce and have none of that sub-level flicker that you would get from a fluorescent light. It is a healthier light to work under, to be in our schools for our kids. And then obviously it's going to eliminate all of the lighting maintenance. So with maintenance, our lights are built to last. They're built to run for 10 years, 24/7. And then obviously with that time frame, any of our turnkey projects are labor backed as well. So it's our guys that are going to come out, take care of any of that maintenance for your clients. Third, substantial energy and fixed cost savings. So with these projects, LED lighting, the massive benefit is reducing wattages. So when we're able to take a light down from 1,000 watts down to 300, you're experiencing massive fixed cost in that energy consumption, reducing that energy bill. And then lastly, the LED lighting upgrade is already paid for. So kind of tag teaming with that wattage drop, that is where your energy bill is going to see that 60 to 70% reduction. And anytime we can get into that number, a project is really, really going to cash flow itself and have a very quick ROI, like Anthony mentioned earlier, where, if we can get this project to cash flow in less than 5 years, it's a very, very, very good proposal. So next, why choose NetZero? So first off, what we're going to look at here, and Anthony, if you could just open up that full circle here. Kind of want to look at this circle of life, and this shows kind of our whole team, starting with the manufacturer. So we do manufacture our product, and we control what goes into that process, the R&D, and to really formulate a rigid product that's going to last for a very long time. Our team is going to come in and do the lighting assessment for your clients, designing the project, putting forth a good plan for the proposal that here our finance and rebate, our accounting team is going to put together this proposal for us, reconcile all the rebates that are available through the utility companies, track down those federal and state tax incentives for the client. And that's huge, because that can take, a customer 7, 8, 9 months to do that. And so our team's going to take care of all that for them. Project installation, our project management team is on site, boots on the ground, taking care of everything, truly white glove turnkey experience. And then rounding out that life cycle, the warranty and service. Again, back to what I mentioned earlier, this is a labor-backed product. So we want the client to have that white glove experience where, you know, if there was a warranty issue, our guys are the ones a phone call away coming back out to repair that light, renting the lifts to get up high. It's on us. And so it's kind of back into that first step of being the manufacturer. How do you service a good warranty? Build a good product. And we run at about a 0.03% failure rate, which obviously helps us service that great warranty.
Absolutely. That's right. So we're an end-to-end turnkey provider. So we handle it all from the actual design and manufacturing of the products all the way through to paying for the project, the installation, and the warranty and service on it, right? So now to talk a little bit about the sales process that we have, I'm going to turn the call over to Andrew. Andrew?
Absolutely, yes. If you'll just go through those, this is the sales process, and there are different steps, and we'll start with qualifying the prospect, and then it goes to the on-site assessment, and then we collect the facility data, where we then engineer the project, and then we present the proposal. But when you're looking at all this, the good news for you guys is all we need you guys to be doing is step one on your screen. So all we're asking for you guys is to be qualifying these prospects. Then the remaining is we'll take it from there and we'll do all the next steps. So really, the good news for you guys is, you know, all we're asking for you guys is to qualify that prospect for us, and we'll take it from there turnkey. And then you're probably wondering who do we go after? Who you guys might, you know, be able to turn over to us. Those first three, we're looking at facilities of 50,000 square feet plus, and then greater than 85% of outdated lighting. So we're looking for a facility that, you know, is in their facility in a long-term lease or owns the facility and has not upgraded their lighting. And then the rest of these are just, you know, key facts that are going to make our proposal on our end look better. So long run times of the lighting equipment, high energy rates, they might be available for utility rebates. Their business is profitable, and then their business might be, you know, sustainability and green programs that, you know, are important to them. So they might have initiatives to get to net zero, and we can help with that. But like I said, those first three are the main ones we're looking for, and the rest just help us, you know, have the best proposal for them once it gets to that point. So that's kind of all we would need from you guys is qualifying the prospect, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect, Andrew. Thank you very much. So let's talk about, so we talked about the ideal prospects, right? Or characteristics, right? What are we looking for in terms of the profile for the customer? You know, what are the characteristics that make them a good opportunity for us? So now let's look at what are some of the ideal verticals that we want to go after. So the starting one here is manufacturing warehouses, and some key facts about this are that they're usually very large and open. They have a lot of lights, and they usually have long run times, right? Especially when we're talking about manufacturing. A lot of manufacturing facilities are running 24/7. Okay, hotels and hospitality. Okay, there's a lot of opportunity for our commercial and industrial lighting and hotels and hospitality facilities. Senior living, hospitals, and healthcare in general, the same thing with that. Auto dealerships. Auto dealerships are very important and a great target because they all have large parking lots. They all have an inventory of vehicles that they keep out on the lots, and those lights have to stay on all night. So there's a great opportunity there to reduce their fixed costs by reducing the energy consumption on those parking lot lights. Schools and municipal facilities. Schools are one of our top verticals. We have a tremendous amount of success. Our value proposition really connects well with public schools and colleges. Data centers. Data centers are important as well because an aspect of data centers that that works with the LED lighting is that you have a lot of equipment in an enclosed space, and it's generating a lot of heat. The LED lighting does not generate the same amount of heat that fluorescent lighting generates. And so that is a net positive for the operators of those kinds of data centers. Shipping and logistics. Again, you've got, you know, especially logistics and shipping centers for like all these third-party Amazon warehouses. I mean, they're going to have long run times. They're going to be running 24/7 as well. Large retail and office facilities. And then property management. Property management companies are a great company, great relationships to bring to the table because they will be a gateway to a lot of these other types of facilities. All right, so that's the verticals. So now let's talk about how you guys make money. So right off the bat, we pay 100% of the commission on what you bring to us upfront when the product ships to the customer. All right. So as soon as the product leaves our warehouse to ship to a customer, we cut you the check for the commission. You don't have to wait till the project has been installed and completed and the customer is finished signing off on it, that it's done. As soon as that equipment goes out, we send you the check. Now, obviously, there's probably a lot of different commission structures at play here, and so we can't really tell you exactly what a commission might be, but I can give you an example of what an average facility would net in terms of the top line. So average 100,000 square foot, let's say a manufacturing facility, that's going to be around $200,000. And then you would just calculate whatever your commission is off that top line number, right? Now, in addition to this, we have some sales incentives that we've set up as well. So our first sales incentive kicks in at 1 million in sales over 12 months, okay? And that's going to get you a 4-night beach vacation at an all-inclusive resort, all expenses paid for you plus one. Somewhere exotic, probably Cancun or in the Caribbean, that happens at 1 million. So the next incentive kicks in at 5 million over 12 months. And that's going to be a Tesla Model 3, one of my favorite cars and one of the fastest selling cars, obviously, in its market segment at the moment. Third and final incentive kicks in at 10 million over 12 months. And that's going to be a Porsche Taycan. So here we have, and by the way, this car is a personal ambition of mine. It's a beautiful car. I've test driven one and it's absolutely fantastic. But for both this and the Tesla, if you qualify for these incentive rewards, we're going to fly you out to Atlanta. We're going to put you up in a luxury hotel. We're going to wine and dine you and celebrate your success. We're going to give you a tour of our facilities. And then we're going to drive down the street to the Porsche dealership a couple of miles away from us and let you pick out the color and options you want on the car. And then we'll have it shipped directly to where you live. Okay. So that's basically it in a nutshell. Now, one last point that I want to make before we close out here is that commercial and industrial lighting in North America alone right now is a $7 billion a year industry, right? It's forecast to grow by almost double over the next 5 years. So by 2028, we're looking at 13 to 14 billion. This is a tremendous opportunity with really no end in sight, okay? NetZero USA has been doing LED lighting for over 10 years. We understand it. We know how to make it work. We know how to make it work for our customers, right? And we have a proven track record of success in the channel, which a number of you that are on the call right now, I think, can probably already attest to. So all we need you to do is deliver to us the qualified relationships. We will then take it from there. We will close the sale and we will deliver back to you a happy customer and a substantial amount of money. So with that, I think that we're ready to open up for questions.
Yes, we are. The first question is, how much does a business have to spend on lighting for lighting as a service to make a big difference?
How much? Well, I mean, it's going to vary. I mean, the lighting. So first of all, we don't approach the market as lighting as a service, right? We're not. There's a number of problems with that model specifically. In terms of the fact that the customer doesn't ever own the equipment, right? And so there basically paying for their lighting upgrade into perpetuity. With us, what we do is we finance the projects. Okay, we work to make the project, the cost of the project be absorbed by the energy cost over the term of either a 5-year or 7-year financing program, which at the end of that program, the customer owns the lights free and clear and can continue to reap the benefit of the energy savings from that point forward. And so as to the cost, it just depends on the size of the facility and the type of industry, the run times of the lights. So yeah, that's
Okay.
I think I've answered that question. Yeah. So what
Okay.
else?
And then next question is, what % of the overall market has not yet upgraded to LED lighting?
I don't, that's a great question. I don't have a specific number, but I will tell you it's the vast majority. I mean, the projected market growth is enormous. And I'm only talking about North America when I talk about that projected 13 billion by 2028. Right?
Okay. And if they already have LED, is there still an opportunity?
So the way we approach, the way our value proposition works, right, is getting back to, having the energy savings from going from outdated lighting technology, fluorescent lighting, to LED lighting, having that energy savings essentially pay for the lighting upgrade. So while we are certainly happy to sell LED lighting to anyone that wants to buy our lighting, right? The return isn't really going to be effective for someone that already has LED lighting.
Okay. And what are some of the opening sales questions to get the ball rolling?
So I'll hand that off to either Taylor or Andrew, whichever one of you want to jump in on that.
Yeah, I'll take care of that. So some good questions would obviously be, have you converted to LEDs yet? How do you maintain your lighting system? Do you take care of that in-house, or is that something that you guys would generally go and outsource that to a local electrician? I think I have a guy for you that could do this a little more seamlessly for you. Those are like really great starting questions just to get the ball rolling on lighting. I mean, it's as simple as, have you converted to LEDs yet? And from there, you could obviously groom the conversation and get more in depth, but obviously that's what we want to be here for you guys, is to hey, we can jump on a call with you, we can start that conversation in a more in-depth scenario. But again, like Andrew was talking about earlier, if we've qualified that, hey, no, they have not replaced more than 85% or less than 85% of their lights, their facility size is X, that meets kind of requirements there, and then do they own the building, or are they in a long-term lease?
All right, and we got 3 more questions. Who is the typical buyer of these services?
Yeah, so typically we find that the starting point for sort of the chain of decision makers is going to be those facility managers, right? Whoever's in charge of maintaining the facility, making sure that everything is operating in the facility. So that's going to be the facility manager, someone maybe on the operations team, and then from there, it'll sort of fan out to anyone in the org chain that needs to have some sort of pitch in that. But that's generally going to be the case. Now, these 2 guys may have something additional to add to that as well. Taylor?
Yeah. No, you're fine. I mean, director of operations, anyone on the facility maintenance side will get the ball rolling. And like Anthony said, it'll usually get, up the chain to a CFO or, a CEO to sign off on a project like this. But just for your guys' sake, starting with that operations or maintenance contact, they're going to be the ones that know if they're dealing with lighting upgrades in-house and want to bring in somebody for a turnkey project.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and do you have best practice leads generation tools we could use, or suggested lead generation workflows?
Really, the most effective way to generate opportunities we've found, because this is a B2B scenario, and it's certainly not an impulse decision, right? Is to sort of nurture, whatever relationships you've got already, and sort of parse through those, and do a little bit of investigation work on where your existing customers or base book of business kind of stands in terms of their facilities. Otherwise, we like to do direct email campaigns. We have several marketing tools that allows us to identify prospects in the market that are looking for LED lighting. We certainly, can get a lot of traction with that. Also, networking events, trade shows. I mean, those are the places where we get most of our leads for sure. Right?
Okay, and we had a question asked earlier that you answered, but if you could answer it live, does NetZero install the lighting, or does the customer install them?
I'll take that. I do remember you mentioning this, but so when we schedule the installation and our crews are set to be on site for these clients, the product will ship from our warehouse to the site for our crew to then receive and do the work for the customer. So no, the customer is not installing the product on a turnkey project. That would be our crews doing that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's worth it to mention one more time here, is that NetZero USA is providing a complete turnkey solution for the customer, right? So we're handling everything. I mean, from the making the products themselves, all the way to doing the assessment, to doing the financing to pay for the project, right? To doing the installation, and then providing the whatever warranty, service, and maintenance is required afterwards. It's all handled by NetZero USA.
And how long does an installation usually take on average?
Yeah, I was typing this answer. It really depends on the size of the project. But generally speaking, a few days, a week, depending on how large this can get. But another good variable in that is kind of our installation method on how long are we allowed to be in the building. Are we working at a 24/7 facility that gives us certain sections of the building at a time? If it's at school, are we doing it at night? Are we doing it on the weekends or school breaks? If we've got full reign to work, obviously it's going to speed up that installation. But generally speaking, at a 50,000 square foot facility, you could probably plan on 2 to 3 days for something of that size. And then as you get larger, the installation gets a little more challenging. So.
Okay, and we have 3 more questions that we're going to wrap up real quickly. Do you have approved installers for the West Coast?
Yeah, we have crews that, basically anywhere in the US, we can get our guys out there. So as far as logistics, that's on us to figure out, which crews we're going to use depending on the location in the country. But we're doing projects in 36 different states right now. So just let us know where you need us to be, and we'll have our guys there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And do schools typically go out for bid? And if so, how does NetZero compete with other similar firms like EnergyWare?
Yeah, so our school bids, that's a great question. Public schools are usually going out for bid, and we usually compare on, we're not on the high side, we're also not on the super low side. We're right in a good sweet spot being the manufacturer. Private schools are able to make their own decisions, just like a business would. But yes, to answer your question, public schools we do see go out to bid, and we are bidding on this project, and we usually are pretty competitive being the manufacturer. We come in at a really good price for them.
And last question, will you be sending product marketing documents?
Absolutely. Yeah, we can provide whatever marketing collateral to support your efforts that you need. So we'll get together with that offline here and figure out what we need to provide and make it available to everyone as needed. Absolutely.